and John from my show. Let's take a look, as we always do, and have a look at who's in my green room tonight. My first guest is a BAFTA-winning, Oscar-nominated actor, known for his iconic performances in films like Made in Britain, Pulp Fiction, and, of course, The Hateful Eight. He's one of my favourite screen actors of all time. It's Tim Roth, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
You're welcome.
My next guest is, without question, my favourite singer, stroke dancer, stroke rapper, stroke model, stroke TV presenter, stroke judge. It's the multi-talented Alicia Dixon. Hey, Alicia. Looking fabulous, loving the new hair. Also on the show, star of the big hit series The Night Manager on TV right now, and the upcoming ITV show Dr. Thorne. You've seen him in Rev, In the Loop, Pirates of the Caribbean, so many more. It's Mr. Tom Hollander. Hey, Tom. Also on the show, one of the country's most popular stand-up comedians. You'll know him from his regular appearances on Live at the Apollo and Play to the Whistle. It's the very funny Sean Walsh. There he is, young Sean.
Right, hello.
Hey, so what are you doing? Sit back. And we've got fabulous music for you tonight from a band who've had 6 #1 albums, 11 top 10 singles. They've sold over 10 million albums. They've been around so long, I knew them when they were just the Monophonics. But now... it's the Stereophonics. There they are. Okay. Now, I'd like to take a moment to wish Kate Moss a speedy recovery. I don't know if you saw this, but Kate took a tumble at the ski resort of Verbier. She injured her leg. Here she is arriving home from that trip. 10 minutes later, there were queues around the block at Topshop for the new crutch and leg strapping look. Bad news for Kate, though. She won't be able to go down on one knee to propose to her boyfriend on Leap Year Day, because it's a leap year this year, as you perhaps know. This Monday, it's coming Monday, is the 29th of February. That's the day when men have to accept their marriage proposal from any woman who pops the question. So, if you're watching, Simon Cowell, double bolt the door just in case Sunita pops round. Let's get my first guest out, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah! In a career stretching almost 30 years, he's appeared in some of the most iconic films in modern cinema history. It is the one and only Mr. Tim Roth. Great to have you back. Hey, Tim Roth. Tim, how are you? Looking good?
I am looking fabulous, actually.
You are looking, actually, smarter than I think people expect you to look.
Yes. That was my intention.
Is that kind of something...
It wasn't my wife's intention, but it was my intention.
What was your wife's?
She said, go scruff.
Really?
Yeah.
Did she like your scruff?
She does a bit.
Okay.
I should mention that.
OK, let's start with talking about your relationship with Quentin.
Right. Because
you and Quentin Tarantino, here's what's incredible is you were in Reservoir Dogs, which was, what was it, 1992, I think? And that was his first film. That was at the beginning of his career.
It was the first one, and... he'd sold True Romance, the script True Romance, and he'd sold Natural Born Killers, which he still hasn't seen. He can't bring himself to watch that. And he has seen True Romance, and he really likes True Romance, but those were the films that he sold, the scripts that he sold to make, to finance Reservoir Dogs.
And there, you think about it, so you worked with him, and he was an unproven director then, and now he is, I think you could argue quite easily, probably the most famous director, certainly one of the most famous directors, but possibly the most famous director in the world.
Indeed.
And you've worked, and you've been on that whole journey with him, because you were in the last film as well,
I was at the early chunk, and then he circled back around and wrote a piece for me in Hateful Eight, so, yeah.
So how has that changed, working with him over the years? How is he different now as a director to when you first started out with him, if at all?
There's no phones on set at all. That's a done.
What would the consequence be if
You'd be fired.
Whiz.
Immediately fired. And I said to him, what happens if one of your actors, brings a phone on and's doing a bit of that?
Angry Birds.
Angry Birds, right? And, or no, it's Kitty Cannon. And he said, oh, if it's an actor, if it's an actor, he said, I just leave the set and the Weinsteins show up. And we recast.
They're the producer guys, aren't they?
They're the henchmen, yeah.
Wow, so they would actually maybe get
They
rid
would
of someone.
fire an actor.
Wow.
And there are, I know, members of crew who have been fired. Definitely. No devices at all.
Now, what's this? He does pranks on set. What's this thing I've been hearing about called Big Jerry? Can you
Big Jerry,
explain Big Jerry to me?
So there's 2 rules. One is no phones or any devices or any kind. The other one is you can't sleep, right? So you can't... And one of the things that actors do on set, really, is doze off. But if you do fall asleep, there's a thing called Big Jerry. And Big Jerry's a dildo And it's about this big, right?
Wow.
It's a translucent purple, vaguely pink dildo. It's about that big. I think it might have glitter sparks in it.
That's about what? 3 feet?
It's about 3 feet.
About 90 centimetres?
But it's the camera crew that have it, and they've got it in a bag, and they hide it, and I saw these bastards. And there was a day when Bruce Dern, who's 80-something, yeah. Bruce, and
so
if anyone falls asleep, he's got a right to fall asleep.
You would think that's OK. He's...
I mean, look, he looks wide awake there. So, but they were waiting. They almost got him. They never got him. But I saw a couple of guys get it, and what they do is they get the dildo out of this sack and they bring it out, and you're asleep somewhere, and they just push it into your face. So it's right up there, and you get a picture. Then it goes on the wall of shame. Now, if you get angry, as some people do, and they rip it down, then it gets printed up bigger, and it goes up again. And if it gets ripped down again, it turns into T-shirts, and the entire crew are wearing them. And it's quite... But I always thought it would be great to be on.
Have you? So you've
Big
never
Jerry.
been on...
I never got Big Jerry.
Not on the receiving end of Big Jerry?
No, and he's big.
OK.
Jerry.
You were nominated for an Oscar. What's the experience of going to the Oscars when you're nominated like?
It's a long chain of events. You get in a car and you think, we've got a bottle of champagne, me and my missus. We thought, we're all glam, you know, we got suited and booted and we're ready to go. And then you drive and they say you've got to wait, and so you circle for another 45 minutes and you've got to arrive at a certain time and you've got to do it. So my whole experience of the red carpet at the Oscars was busting for a piss. My missus too, who was standing behind me while I'm doing all this bollocks, you know, as we go down, and then you get in and they say, no, you haven't won.
You got to go to the toilet in between, I
did.
Yeah.
I went to have a piss, and I got down, I'm sitting in the front, and Bruce Springsteen comes by.
Wow.
Yes. Right? And then I've got Quentin and Sam Jackson sitting right there, and Sam turns around to me just before the announcement of the supporting actor.
Because he was nominated as well that year,
yeah,
wasn't he?
No, not that year, before.
Oh.
So he said, when you lose, say, mother He said, yeah, because you'll be in that thing. You'll be in that...
He knew you were going to lose already.
Yeah, I wasn't going to win. I was the outsider. But it was great. And so the one thing I always regret about it is I never had the balls to do that, which he, when he lost, by the way, did do. So he says, mother and everyone else is doing that. And he's like, but Sam can do that. So.
That's losing graciously, that is.
Sam. He's got a trademark on that word.
Does that matter to you, though, the whole award thing? Because obviously it must have been fun to be nominated.
I'm nominated for a BAFTA in here. I didn't know about these. You know the one in LA it's the raspberries or whatever.
The Golden Raspberry.
Yeah.
What were you nominated for that?
Oh, I did that Sepp Blatter movie to put my kids through college.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have laughed in your face, but
no. Believe me, you should. So
I didn't see it like most people.
No, nor did I.
What?
Actually, it holds the American box office record for the least amount of money made ever on a film. Ever. And I think that it was $607 or $907. And I think they were all journalists.
Was it funded by FIFA?
Yes, but I didn't know. So here's a story about it.
So it was never going to be...
No, wait. I did know when I said yes. I take full credit. But, no, what happened was... my agent in America said, there's a script coming, it's about FIFA. They're interested in you playing Sepp Blatter. I'm gonna get killed for this, but who gives a shit, right? So, I said, oh, about time someone did a film about that corruption, that awful world, you know. And I read it, I was like, where is it? And they went, no, there's none of that. And I called up the director and he said, no, unfortunately, we're financed by FIFA. Oh, shit. And then they gave me a figure, and you bend over at some point. And I did, and I'm terribly sorry for it.
Here comes Big Jerry. Yeah. OK, there are some films I know you do because you believe in them and you really want to do them. And that brings us to your new movie, which is out now. It's called Chronic. Now, tell me about this, because this is a very... it's a very powerful film, but it's a very unusual, it's a very kind of, some would say, difficult subject matter, I think.
It's about a guy who is a hospice nurse, who's a palliative nurse, who treats people at the end of their lives, who is present for your dying, basically. And I had no idea about this subject, and it's the last taboo, if you'd like. We don't talk about dying. We don't talk about our exit. We never do.
Which is bizarre, because it's something we will all experience. Yeah.
We will all have it. Everyone in this room, we will all pass. We will all go away, and it's just it's a matter of how.
I mean, I'm trying to make plans to avoid it.
And also the assisted suicide thing, I'm very big on, which is a small part of this film. But
for you, not in terms of you're big on doing it to other people.
Actually, yeah. Very much. Right here, right now.
Dude, I'll do you if you do me. Okay.
But so you have to make plans. So the whole thing is that we don't really, and then it's put on our family to make those plans for us.
And so presumably you spoke to people who work in that area in that field.
And also patients, people who were dying, and they were very the ones that were the nurses trained me, but the people who were dying, their life was like this. It was literally going like that, and they gave me the time, and they read the script, and they were very insistent that I got it right. So the idea of them giving you a little fraction of what they have left was quite... It was, on the one hand, kind of alarming and worrying that you would do it justice, but it was like a privilege.
Incredible generosity of spirit.
Yeah, at the end, at the very end, yeah.
Let's have a look. This is Chronic, and it's out in some cinemas, and it's also available, I think, on... There's one of the streaming systems, Curzon Home Cinema. You can get it that way.
Is a Brazilian architect.
Okay. You look him up?
Mm. No, let me do.
Okay. Ready? Ready, John?
That's art.
I guess it's good for you.
Oh, I see.
Funny thing about that, right? Yeah. Just funny thing about that was every time I come back to do a take, it was different porn. So I had no idea what I was about to look at, because they were just... They had all the same.
Well, I hope people go and see it, because it would be great to support that kind of film, but it is very much worth it, and it's an incredible subject.
Thanks for bringing it with me.
It's great to have you here, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to stay for the show, Mr. Tim Roth. Thank you, Tim. We have a puff now, we have a break. Still to come on the show, we'll be joined by Alicia Dixon, Tom Hollander and Sean Walsh, so don't go away. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Mr. Tim Roth. Let's get my next guest out. She was a star from the get-go with Mystique, and then as a solo artist, and now she's become one of the sparkiest, funniest judges on TV in Britain's Got Talent. Before she comes out, let's see her in action. Here she is, it's Alicia Dixon, ladies and gentlemen. Alicia Dixon. Look at that new hairdo, that's so nice. That's very fresh.
I know about that.
Yeah.
You like my love?
It's lovely to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So you were at the Brits this week, is that right?
I was, yes.
Okay. Now, that must be, I guess, would that be a fairly rare night out for you? Because you have is she 2, your daughter?
2 years and 5 months.
Wow. So what's it like having a 2.5-year-old? Because I can barely remember. Is it...
I feel like I've got a teenager already.
Yeah.
I mean, all my friends that have children have warned me of this terrible twos, and I thought, not my little girl, she'll be fine. She slams the door behind her. Yeah. She throws the toys out of the pram, the lot, and it's fascinating. I find it hilarious. You know, just watching the little character that she's already got.
And is she showing any interest in music herself? Will she wind up singing anything? Does she like grime, drum and bass?
Grime?
What's she into? That's what the kids like.
Do you know what? She is. She's quite musical. She loves singing along to Adele. She's always playing the keyboard, singing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
Okay.
And she loves, you know, she's quite good with the drums and she's always dancing to Angelina Ballerina. And
wow.
Yeah, it's lovely to see.
You brought in a clip of her performing for us?
This was when she was, just before she was 1 year old, singing along to Adele, yeah.
OK, well, let's
trying
have a look at
to.
this, well, you know, in years to come, we might be looking back and saying this was her first big TV moment. OK. What's her name again? Is it?
Azura.
Azura. OK, this is Azura. So sweet. Wow, that's so sweet. Wow. I love it.
Oh, so funny.
And now your boyfriend's name is Azuka.
Yes.
Man, that's a cool name.
We call him AZ.
Oh, I don't want to get too personal here, but you're not married. Is that something important to you? It's a leap year. You could propose if you wanted to. Has he proposed to you in the past?
Only jokingly.
Right.
He's joked around and, you know, I wouldn't rule out ever proposing to him. I'm not in a rush to get married, but I would definitely be open-minded to it. Why not?
Is it, like, when you say joking, you mean is he joking because he wasn't sure whether you say yes, or is he joking...
Yeah, he's kind of... Unless he's down on one knee with a ring, then I'm not going to take him seriously.
Are you married to him?
Yeah.
Did you propose in a romantic way?
I did. I went out and got... went and saw a mate of mine in a bar. My girlfriend was back at my flat, asleep. So I went to the tattoo place and I got her initials tattooed on my arm and I went back and I said, we've got to talk, darling. No, I said, we've got to talk. And she thought it was over. I said, we're done now.
Oh.
And that was it.
That was it.
But he was quite...
That's not the most romantic story I've heard.
She asked to marry me and that was it. It was done. But he's handsome. He looks like Tupac.
Well, of course, you were friends with Tupac, weren't you?
Well, I worked with him.
Great
But, yeah, we were mates. But
did-
I loved him to bits.
You
He's hilarious.
You visited him in the studio, didn't you? You went to the studio?
I did some rapping with him.
Did
yes.
you?
It's buried in the dungeon somewhere at Death Row Records, and
I would-
hopefully will never be seen.
I
again.
think I would kind of love to hear you bust out a rap.
Yes.
It was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done.
Was he aware you were rapping, or had he left the room?
He was laughing his arse off at us from the sound booth. Yeah, he was
love
doing his
that.
thing.
And what did you rap, Tim?
I don't know. It's embarrassing.
Did you put your name in it? Were you bigging yourself? Was it, my name is
No, it
Tim
was
in the
supposed
place
to
to
be-
be?
I'm taking a joke.
From my best friend Tupac. Where's Big E?
That's pretty good.
Yes, Jonathan.
It's embarrassing.
Okay, you know what? Wasn't as good as that.
It's not really
We
well.
get it.
But you used to MC a lot, didn't
I
you?
did,
Do you still do
yes.
that? You must miss doing that
Well,
if you don't.
whenever I perform live, I always, I still rap, and on the new record, Do It For Love, there's obviously...
The first track in particular, it starts with a lot of, frankly, boasting. I'll be honest with you.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, you're
Well,
not going to read it?
I wish I could. Look at the size of that print.
No, don't read it. Don't do it.
I will read it.
This is a track called Stop, right? Is that the one? Featuring Wretch 3-2?
There, I've got it. OK, so, I'm supersonic, bionic,
a lady and a freak. If you slip me a gin and tonic.
Oh.
I know exactly how you want it. So watch me when I'm breaking it down and putting my flavour on it.
Oh.
Now let's get this party started. I guarantee you no one's ever done it like I've done it.
Well, that's a big boast.
You don't know what I'm talking about,
I've
Jonathan.
got a fairly good idea, Alicia
Listen,
Dixon. I know
lyric
what's going
are
on
subject
here.
to interpretation.
OK.
Listen, did you listen to it?
Yes.
Oh, good.
I didn't see his film, but I listened to that.
Oh, good. Yes, Jonathan.
I did see your film.
That's what I like to hear.
OK, so that's the first album for, is it 5 years?
5 years.
So why
yes.
so long?
Well, I did start the record and then I fell pregnant with Azura and there was just no way I was going to be able to promo that and look after a newborn baby. So I put it on the back burner for a little while and then when I started feeling back to myself again, I just got straight back in the studio and
but it must be quite hard to fit that in with Britain's Got Talent, because I know that's quite time-consuming, isn't it?
Well, I don't think so. I think it's quite it's a blessing of a job because we get most of it done at the beginning of the year and then we get a little bit of a break before the live shows in May, which gives me time to work on other projects, and then obviously we finish in June and there are a lot more months in the year to do other things.
Let me ask you about when you made that, because one of the things that's fun about Britain's Got Talent is it's a very broad range, shall we say, of talent that appears. From the super slick to the more kind of just...
Super shit.
Yeah. And that
Are you a judge?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I'm only joking.
Did you think she was auditioning
no,
on
I
Britain's
just
Got
thought she
Talent?
ran it.
It's actually, you know, it's the acts that aren't the most talented that are the heart and soul of the show.
Yeah.
They are what make it. You know, at the end of the day, when it comes to the live shows, of course you want the most talented act to win. But for the audience watching at home, they like it when it's extrovert type people and people that don't take themselves too seriously and just come out and have a laugh.
Characters.
Characters,
That's what they like. OK. So you've been doing the auditions already. Have any of such characters appeared so far? Have there been outstanding ones? Can you give us any idea as to what is in store for us?
The Golden Buzzer acts this year are particularly strong, and David's is outrageous.
So this is when one
expect.
judge can just press this button, and even if the other
I love
judges...
that we're having to educate you along the way.
No, I'm good with
They
it.
can send them through to the final, or for the
free
near...
pass.
No,
is
wait,
it the final?
so you go through, you don't get kicked off?
You don't get kicked
if
off.
the Golden Buzzer goes?
Straight through to the live shows.
Okay. And can you tell us what you used your one on?
I went for a gospel choir because they were incredible. They were so powerful. They had dancers with them, and they lifted the mood in the room, and they were just so joyful, and it sort of ticked everything about entertainment that I loved. So
and you can't tell us what Williams up for, you can. Give us an idea.
They're a couple.
OK.
With a twist.
Swingers?
Do you know what? Who knows these days? You never know.
Will you join me in saying thank you to the fabulous Alicia Dixon, ladies and gentlemen? That was so much fun. Thank you so much. Still to come, we'll be joined by Tom Hollander and Sean Walsh. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show. I'm still here with Alicia and Tim. Let's get my next guest out. Here's a reminder of him in the fabulous Rev.
This is quite nice. What is it?
That's one of my specials, is a Colin brain masher. 2 parts whiskey, 1 part ouzo, some mint, and mostly MDMA.
What?
Ecstasy. You'll love it. I quite often have an E before the service.
Ecstasy's in this. Colin, I can't believe you've done that. How dare you do that? That's outrageous. What, you can't force-feed people chemical drugs. What if I die? What if I have an adverse reaction and die? Should we call an ambulance? Is there an antidote? What will it feel like? When will it start?
Lord of all happiness and Lord of all joy, whose trust ever childlike no cares could destroy. Be there at our waking and give us good rain. Your bliss in our hearts, Lord, at the break of the day.
That's a surprisingly lovely moment, isn't it? Here he is, it's Tom Hollander, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, thank you so much for coming on. You were singing in that clip, and that was quite a lovely, I thought, didn't you, Alicia? That was rather a lovely voice you had there.
Well, thank you, thank you.
Had you ever had training as a singer?
I was, yes. I was a chorister when I was a boy, so, yes, I was singing that in my childhood voice. Yeah.
And did you enjoy the experience of being in the choir?
I did. I enjoyed the status of being head chorister when I was 12, yeah. And I knew that my status would fall off dramatically when my voice broke. So somehow my voice didn't break till I was almost 15, just because I was clinging on desperately to... because I couldn't face the anonymity of not being a head chorister anymore.
So sheer willpower, you kept puberty at bay.
I think subconsciously, yeah. Yeah, my balls just stayed.
Remarkable dedication. You play... Well, Tim plays nasty people amazingly well.
It's like the
You
dark
seem to play super nice people very, very well. You give them a kind of human quality over and above them just being kind of like, you know, screen nice.
It's nasty in... I'm quite nasty in The Night Manager.
Well, you're getting nasty.
Quite nasty. Gonna get quite nasty.
Because that is proving to be a huge hit. That's on BBC One. It looks glorious.
Yeah, it looks like a film, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, it's expensive. We're in the era of expensive TV shows, and this is one of them, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, expensive actors, look, expensive shots.
Tell me about the time you were stung by a jellyfish.
Interesting. The Night Manager, in a way, was a fulfilment of a dream. I don't know if you had this. When you wanted to be an actor, I used to think the best thing about being an actor would be to be somewhere warm and hot and glamorous by the sea with incredibly entertaining people at someone else's expense, sitting about, chatting. And so here I was, sitting by the seaside with Hugh Laurie, who's one of the most entertaining people you'll ever meet in your life, and Olivia Colman and Tom Hiddleston and Elizabeth Debicki. It was paradise until we went swimming, and because I'm a gentleman, lent Elizabeth Debicki my goggles, which I brought to Mallorca because I knew about the jellyfish problem, but she didn't have any, so I went, well, you must have mine, Elizabeth, and so she wore them and I swam into all the jellyfish. And I don't know if you've ever been stung by, but it's really, really painful. And
Someone pee on you?
yeah. I'm
Because
glad
that's
you
what
asked.
you do, right? I saw it in Friends.
They
You're
did.
meant to urinate.
Guess who peed on me?
Go on.
Tom Hiddleston.
Really?
He saw this. He is heroic and, you know, sort of Bond-like. And I was going, ow, 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 to Elizabeth. And she was going, I don't know what we're going to do, because she's Australian. And I saw, out of the corner of my eye, someone, sharp strokes cutting through the water. Hiddleston had seen I was in trouble. He came out to me. I was standing on a rock, submerged, just in a few feet of water. And he went, it's all right, stand back, I know what to do. And I, what, Tom, what? He went, where is it? And I went, it's here, it's all here. I went, oh, it's all really warm now. That's because Tom had done what he needed to do, which was to pull his dick out and and to piss all over me.
But then the pain went away.
And I'm sorry to say, Alicia, it doesn't actually work.
Such a shame.
It doesn't work.
So, Tom, you're playing a nice person in this new thing. You're playing Dr. Thorne.
Dr. Thorne is thoroughly nice.
Yeah, he is
Dr.
very
Thorne,
nice. But
yeah.
what this is I would have thought, an exciting project to be involved in, because it's Julian Fellows.
Yes.
Fresh from the success of Downton Abbey, which couldn't have been bigger, and it's
Yes.
a sort of similar feel to it.
Yeah, look, I look like a sort of startled chicken in that shot. It's 1840. It's a lovely... It's a fairy tale in which ladies talk about marriage, and a beautiful young girl and a beautiful young boy hope to get married to each other, and I don't want to spoil the end of it. But it's, yeah, it's just lovely, charming, quirky story.
Let's have a look at a clip. This is ITV. It starts next Sunday. I've seen the first episode. I found it's charming and it's sweet. It's like perfect Sunday night viewing.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. This is Dr. Thorne.
Your mother was a village girl. And as you've already guessed, she was not my brother's wife.
Is she still living?
I believe so. In Australia, she married and has a family there.
But she did not want me.
She wanted you very much. But her husband made it a condition that she leave you behind and start a new life with him. It was her chance and she took it.
My father did not want me either.
We'll never know. He died before your birth. Your mother came to me with her dilemma, and I offered you a home. But that's wrong. It's you that have made a home for me. For 20 happy years.
Yeah. Dr. Thorne, I suspect he's going to be a huge success. So, Tom, this is a different question altogether here, but how was it working with Cruise? How did you enjoy that experience?
Tom Cruise is... that was exciting.
Now, that was the last Mission Impossible one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a film called Valkyrie before that. So
yeah, that
twice
was a good
with him.
film,
Yeah. He's an amazing man. He's literally the hardest working person I've ever met.
He has a lot of energy.
He does. He always has more energy than anyone else in the room, which is amazing to be around, if slightly scary. I got actually caught up in his energy in a way that was unfortunate for me. I wanted to have a conversation with him. I was standing next to him. They were turning the cameras around, and he said, "What are you up to at the moment?" And I went, I'm trying to buy a house in West London. I've just wondered about putting a deposit on it. But I must say, I've read this stuff about the subprime stuff. It doesn't look very good, does it? I don't know if do you think it all sounds a bit dodgy, the housing market, Tom? And he went, well, what are you buying at? 15, 20, 25? No, it's 350. And he went, well, what is this? Buyer's remorse before you've even bought? And I went, oh, yes, I'm just a sort of glass-half-empty idiot. He's Tom Cruise. That's why he's full of... when we finish this scene, I'm making the call, and I rang and I put the deposit down and bought the house. And the housing market fell off a cliff about a fortnight later. So I'd say Tom Cruise, amazing man. He literally is deeply impressive, but you just need to keep your distance.
Yeah. Let me ask you about a forthcoming project. Well,
I've genuinely no idea what this is.
Well, you'll remember when I asked you, because you've already made this.
Oh, OK, good. So it's not... I see, it's not
It's not
forthcoming.
me asking you about something that might not happen.
It's not forthcoming, it's something you've done that's coming out soon.
Well, that means forthcoming. It is forthcoming.
Doesn't forthcoming mean in the future?
Yes, it's coming out in the future.
It's in the past for me.
But no, but it's...
What is it? Is it...
Well, look, for us...
What might it be? What might it be?
Well, wait and see, because for us it's yet to arrive.
I'm so tense. Which one is it? This is The Jungle Book.
Yes.
There's a new Warner Brothers film of The Jungle Book coming out.
Jungle Book?
Yeah.
Amazing! I can't wait to see that. Who do you play?
I play Tabaki the hyena.
Oh, cool.
Benedict Cumberbatch plays Shere Khan the tiger.
Oh, that's good casting.
Kate Blanchett plays the snake. Can't remember the name. What's her name? Kia Ora?
No, not Kia. That's a drink.
Can't remember.
Car.
Oh,
A car.
Car.
She's Car. Christian Bale's the Panther. Andy Serkis is directing it.
Is it motion capture if it's directed by Andy Serkis? So
We
what
were
animal
all-
are you? You're a jackal.
I'm a hyena.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the same.
Completely different animal.
How different is? What's the difference between a jackal and a hyena?
It's a different name, for starters. But otherwise, I actually don't know. I only researched a hyena, because that was my job. No point wasting time researching jackals.
And so, working with Benedict, who couldn't be a bigger name right now.
No.
What he plays...
He played Shere Khan, who's the... Yeah.
So
And
you have scenes with him?
Yes, I was his sort of henchman, sidekick, underling. Yeah. Which was a great privilege. And it was very funny, because we are all, of course... I mean, some of these people had Oscars, or at least had been nominated for them, but they were all pretending to be animals, like children do at parties. So they were going at each other. It's Kate Blanchett is... what are you going to do, Kate? It's incredible. Yeah.
Do you physically block out the action, or do you just do the sound effects?
Well, you get crutches to make you four-legged, and you sort of move around on them, and you have a camera on your face to register the sheer range and subtlety of your expressions, to inspire the animators later to give your animal, emotional depth. And then then you negotiate with the director what you're going to do, because Andy is a very lovely, dear, inclusive man. I had, for instance, Tabaki at one point, my character Tabaki the hyena, he got bitten, I think, or I cut my thigh or something, and I had to run back to the burrow where we lived and where Shere Khan was waiting to take over the world. And he'd go, "Oh, Tabaki, what's happened to you?" And I'd go, "I've hurt myself. I've got a cut here." And then Andy'd go, "Oh, interesting, OK, so what could we do then?" And I said, "Well, I could..." I mean, Benedict, I don't know if you feel... I mean, Andy, I don't know if you... well, we could, I suppose, because animals, you know, they lick each other, don't they, to heal. So I suppose I could sort of back towards you, and then maybe, I don't know if you... Benedict, if you... I don't know what... Andy, what do you think? Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea. Benedict, if you lick here on Tom, so Shere Khan licks Tabaki's bottom, and Tabaki goes because he's so excited to be working with Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, he loses it. And
so you've been licked on the backside,
pissed on by Hiddleston,
and pissed on by Tom.
Terrible year. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Can't wait. What's going to happen next? Isn't it great?
Tom, it has been an absolute joy having you on the show. How lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on. And as I said, Dr. Thorne is Sunday nights on ITV, and the spy thing's on the other side, but you can watch that on Catch Up.
Exactly.
Lovely having you. Tom Hollander, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. OK, still the Calm Morning Show. We're joined by Sean Walsh and music from Stereophonics. See you after the break. Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Tom and Elisa and Tim are still elected. My final guest out. He is one of the funniest stand-up comedians in the country. It's the one and only Sean Walsh, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello. What are we doing? 2 kisses?
Yeah, let's do 2.
Sean, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Am I right? You just turned 30 fairly recently.
Yeah.
Any changes in your life? Have you decided to act more like a mature, sophisticated adult? Are you not going to change? Yeah, you look the part.
Thank you. Well, look, what happens, I think, naturally, is that you become more boring. That just happens.
Well, I don't know whether I would agree with that.
No, you do. You're more boring.
Yeah.
It's just life. It just happens. I now know people that have a favourite journalist. Kill me. It's awful. It's weird. It just happens to you. You never think it's going to happen to you, and it does. Like, I was a very naughty kid. I was what was known as a chav.
Yeah.
You know this word. Okay. And I was one of them. You know, suspended from school many times, kicked out of college, in trouble with the police, all that stuff. And I loved trouble, anarchy, anything, you know. Tell me I'm alive. Now, the closest I get to living on the edge is when I go to Pret to buy tuna baguette, say takeaway, but eat in.
So that's a small act of acceptable rebellion.
Yeah, that's it. That's as bad as I get.
Now, you were quite a drinker, weren't you, in your 20s? You enjoyed drinking heavily. You enjoyed getting out of it.
Off my tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved drinking. That has to... Obviously, that has to
Well, you have to slow it down a bit as you get older, be more responsible. Do you miss that, though?
Yeah. I don't know if you've done this. This is awful. If you get to a point where you have to do this in life, where you go out and you don't drink whilst your friends drink.
Well, because you're driving?
Well, because my missus says, you know, don't come home drunk. Oh. So I have to behave. And you still want to go out and you end up on the orange juice and you have to talk to people, your friends, that have drunk eyes.
Yeah. What are drunk eyes?
Drunk eyes are when you're so drunk you can't keep your eyes open for the duration that you turn your head to talk to someone else. Do you know what I mean? So there'll be someone who's had too much, there'll be a group of us like this, and we'll try to plan a little bit afterwards where to go. You'd be drunk as well.
Oh!
I'm drunk. Right. So, after this, you've got the drunk eyes.
Yeah.
Right, guys, can't keep your eyes open before you turn your head. You go, what we do, we finish these, and we'll get a cab into town, and we'll have a couple more. You up for that?
Boom.
Yeah? Boom. Right, let's do that.
Yeah.
That is exactly it.
Let's do it. Come on. Be good.
So you've stopped that now, though?
Yeah. My favourite look is when you spot the point at which someone else has realised. It's the moment they realised how drunk they are.
Right.
That's my favourite look. You see other people do it, they'll be like that. Usually happens at a kebab shop. You know the point where you've ordered your kebab and then you turn around and see the mirror. Yeah, dollar, please, mate. Got it, mate. Chill it. No salad, thanks. Fucking hell.
Man, I remember... I don't drink anymore at all, but I can remember...
Do you?
No, I don't drink at all.
Oh, well done.
But I do remember being hideously drunk, to the extent sometimes where you look back and the embarrassment of what you did and how you behaved is terrible, and I'm going to ask whether you have any such stories. Tom?
Yeah. No, I definitely get drunk. Alicia.
But Tom, you don't have a story of drunkenness.
I do. I'm trying to buy myself some time.
OK, well, Alicia, let's go.
The worst ones are when you have the blackouts, when you cannot remember anything.
Wow, that
Tequila usually does that, so I won't drink that ever again.
I recently apologised to someone for something I'd said the night before. To him, I went, I'm really sorry about what I said last night, by the way, I didn't mean it. And he said, I wasn't there.
Tom?
I generally think I've had some of the best times of my life being drunk, so we shouldn't be too down on it. It is fun, isn't it? I mean, that's why people do it.
That's why you
Let's
do it.
not forget.
Yeah.
It's joyous, it's just... You can't remember it sometimes.
You seem like a pretty upbeat, a very happy guy. Do you get grumpy? Do you get cross? Do you get ratty with people?
Well, yeah, you have to be careful. Sometimes you get a bit scared. Will someone recognise me if I say something?
Well, when you're out and about?
Yeah.
Well, like what?
Recently, very recently, this is a few days ago, I was on the tube was rammed, and someone had done that thing, a woman had done this thing where she, you know when people put the bag on the seat, and I was really tired.
And when there aren't enough seats to go around anyway.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
And I was just... The tube's rammed, I'm stood up, I just want to sit down. I just went, look, excuse me, sorry. Sorry, do you mind moving that so I can sit down? And I looked down, and it was her kid. That's true.
Hold it. Was the kid in the bag?
No, there was no bag. I just hadn't looked properly. There was no bag. It's just a little kid in a jacket that I mistook for a bag. Can you fucking move that, please? Sorry, excuse me. I got off that tube very quickly.
It doesn't show you in a good light.
No.
You're safe here.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
I've gone on, yeah.
Cheers,
Sean's got a new tour coming up this year. Are you going to go to Edinburgh again this year? Are you going to do the festival?
Got to do the Edinburgh Festival where you hone the show, make it tight, and then you take it on the road.
What kind of material do you do? It's stuff like this, or you...?
Yeah, growing up and sort of already just being 30, it'll be stuff like... you know, I missed Tinder. You know, I've been in a relationship for a few years, so I want to talk about the stuff that I've already missed.
But have you tried Tinder?
Well, no, because I've been...
I know, I understand you missed it, but have you tried it now, using the excuse that because I missed it and I'm going to do a show about it, maybe I should experience it?
No, but what happens is your friends get it out.
Yes.
Your single mates, they get out Tinder and they go, oh, look at that. And you go, fucking give me that. Give me that. Yes, tick, 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 tick. And they go, oh, stop it. She's not my type. What do you mean she's not your type? Is she a Nazi? No, this is your fucking type. That sort of thing.
Yeah. You really did miss Tinder, didn't you?
Yeah, it's isn't
Yeah.
it? Can you imagine?
No.
10 people are so lucky.
Well,
When I
Tom-
was younger, do you know how hard it was for me to get chlamydia?
You had to put the work in.
I mean, I didn't, to be honest. But...
Tom, have you ever tried Tinder?
No, because I mean, you can't, can you? If you're sort of vaguely well known, it's just people to go, that's Rev, isn't it? Rev, look, I can shag Rev. He's literally just around the corner and he's up for it. It's just, just weird.
Sean, it's great to have you here again. I'm looking forward to see you live. Lovely. What a great guest, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Walsh.
Thank you.
And say thank you also to Tom, to Lisa and to Tim as well. Sean, that was great.
Thanks, mate.
Join me next week on the show if you can, where my guest will be. We have a genuine, I'm very excited about this, a real legendary figure on the show. We have the genius behind Motown music, Mr. Berry Gordy will be here, as well as Hollywood star Jack Black. Also, Washeen Connerty, a very funny stand-up, and the legend that is Richard Gere. But now, performing their new single, White Lies, it is the fabulous Stereophonics.
I don't know where you are or what you want to do. It seems so these days I'm losing out on you. Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You come home so late, I don't know where you've been. I wanna hold you tight, but you make me wanna scream. Yeah.
And read more stars on the Jonathan Ross Show sofa next Saturday at 10. Morgan Freeman is Nelson Mandela in film Invictus next here on ITV. Whilst over on ITVB next, bringing up Baby, it's Sam Fair's The Baby Diaries. And if you missed the antics on the Anton Deck Saturday night takeaway, don't worry, it's on the ITV Hub.